Welcome to Shad's Guitar Show. Whether it's the gear or the players who made the gear famous, this podcast is about all things guitar. Well, hey there. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. I'm Shad. This is Shad's Guitar Show, as you know, and I'm glad you're joining me today. We're right about Christmas time, I think, and I hope that the season is good for you. I hope you're enjoying time with family and friends and looking forward to an awesome new year coming right around the corner, right? 2026 is upon us. And I've got some pretty lofty personal goals, things I want to accomplish, and I hope you do as well. It just keeps us moving forward and becoming, better and better as the years go on. And I hope that everything is going really well for you right now. So today I want to talk about something that I kind of stumbled upon by accident, but I think there's a bigger topic here and maybe some things that we've talked about in the past, but sort of approaching it from a new angle. And really what I want to get to the root of is, have there been guitars that you didn't really expect much from, but ended up really loving them? Because that's kind of where I'm finding myself right now. So let me give you a little backstory. A while back, I found a guitar player, an artist named Lucas DeMolder, and he made an album with a band called the New Master Sounds, called Feel the Spirit. And if you've never heard it, I highly recommend checking it out. There's elements of everything I love. I mean, there's soul jazz in there, there's funk, there's R&B, there's blues. It's just funky and groovy and super catchy, tons of hooks, really, really good instrumental music. So if that's something that sounds interesting, jump on any of the streaming platforms. I was lucky to find it on vinyl, which is super cool, but Feel the Spirit is the name of the album. Lucas DeMolder and the New Master Sounds. So yeah, definitely check that out. It is a total vibe, and I think you'll love it. But Lucas DeMolder is pictured on the cover of that album playing an ES330. Now, I'm assuming it's an old one. And in the past, I've had a couple of old ones, a couple of 65s. One was a 65, one was a 66. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I moved those guitars on. I didn't really connect with them at the time, but hearing Lucas's tone on this album and just going, man, I really, really love the sound he's getting. And I thought, you know what, maybe I need to revisit that ES330 kind of thing. So, like most of us do, I jumped on Reverb to kind of look at what was available, what's out there. And I quickly learned that the 60s ES330s that I was thinking I might want to grab were way outside of the price I wanted to spend. They are $6,000 and up now. And I think when I bought mine a few years back, they were in the like $3,000 to $3,500 range. So prices have definitely climbed beyond the budget that I'm looking to spend for one. So, from there you start looking at other Gibson options, custom shop, but even those were, 3,000 plus. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, in the past, I didn't really necessarily bond with these guitars before, so I don't want to spend a bunch of money and find out it's the same thing and then have to do all the work to try to resell it and hopefully recoup my money, and not lose money. So I thought, well, where do I go from there? So the next natural kind of progression was, what about the Epiphone Casino? It's basically the same guitar. So of course you can find, Korean or, Chinese or Indonesian made Epiphone Casinos, new ones for a song used on Reverb. There's tons of them. But, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I kind of want something maybe a little nicer than that. So I stumbled upon some Japanese made in my, kind of research. And I'm always doing some kind of research like you guys probably are. And I learned about the 80s Japanese-made Epiphone Casinos. Now, I found a really nice natural colored one, beautiful guitar, made in 1988 in the Chirata factory in Japan. So not only is it Japanese-made, but it's made in the fabled Chirata factory, which, as anybody knows who knows anything about Japanese-made guitars, that is where you want your guitar to have come from. Now, all Japanese workmanship, in my experience, has been really good, but the Terada guitars are just like a notch above. So I was really happy to find it. The price was reasonable, so I grabbed it. And a weird thing, I kind of played it a little bit initially, and then, I don't know. It went in the closet. I moved on to other things, and I kind of forgot about it for about like the last 6 months. And then when I was doing some reorganizing, I remembered, oh yeah, that casino, that, gosh, what am I doing with that? I kind of thought I was going to do this or that with it, and I haven't. So maybe I should move it on. Maybe it's time to sell the guitar and, use the funds to do something else with. But before I did that, I thought, well, let me play it again. So, as you guys probably know, I've mentioned it a few times. I play on the worship team at my church. And so I thought, you know what, Sunday I'm going to take that guitar and I'm going to play it, just to give it an opportunity to, see what it'll do. And I didn't expect much. I thought, well, it'll be all right. It'll do the job. It's fine. It'll be fun. Let me just do that. And fast forward to today in this conversation, I have to tell you guys, I was absolutely blown away at how great that guitar performed. The tones I was getting, the way it played, the way it inspired me to play, it was really shocking. And I was like, man, there's things about that guitar that on paper I would have said, I'm not going to like it because. One of them is the nut width. I think, the traditional new Gibson stuff and the vintage stuff was 1 11/16. Well, this particular guitar has a narrower nut width, 1 9/16, which I thought I wouldn't really like that. And it's also got a pretty thin neck. I think at the first fret it measures like 0.780 inches, which, most of the guitars I play are, 0.82, 0.83 to 0.86. So I thought, it's going to be too thin. I'm not going to like that. Nothing could have been further from the truth. I loved the slightly narrower string spacing, and the thin neck was just so easy to get around on. I mean, I can't stress enough how absolutely shocked I was. The pickups sound phenomenal. It was just checking all the boxes and super, super inspired me. And I played, in my own mind to a little higher level. And it was really pushing me to play different things and really kind of go outside and try some different things. It was really great. I know I'm belaboring the point, but I want to drive the point home that I was shocked. So I'm wondering from you guys, and I'd love it if you would comment and let me know, are there guitars that you have that are really special to you or have become main guitars in your arsenal that you never would have expected? Like you went into a guitar store and this guitar, this model, this brand wasn't even on your radar, not even slightly, but you just happened to see it and go, oh, that looks kind of cool. What the heck, I'm here, let me give it a try. And then just absolutely bonded with it. And we're like, this is an amazing guitar. And if you have, I'd love it if you would comment and let me know, what guitars were those? What did you find? What brands just shocked you? What models just shocked you? And kind of a deeper question too is, would you pass up a guitar, even if you kind of really dug it, because it's not made in USA? Like, oh, well, this guitar is made in China. And would you be, honestly, if we're being honest, would you say like, I wouldn't want people to know that I'm playing a Chinese-made guitar. I wouldn't do it. Or I don't want somebody to know I'm playing a guitar made in Indonesia or Korea or whatever. Like, it's got to be USA. It's got to be boutique, whatever your qualifiers are. Would you set those aside if you found the right guitar, even if it wasn't, quote unquote, made in USA or boutique built or whatever? I mean, there's certainly lots of killer guitars that aren't made in the USA, but still qualify because they're boutique guitars and they're widely accepted as really desirable. But, if you found just an inexpensive, $400 or $500 guitar that you just were shocked at how great it played and sounded and you liked how it looked, would you overlook where it was made to buy that guitar if you felt like, man, this could really become an inspiring instrument. And I'm just curious about that. So I would love it if you guys would comment. Certainly this guitar is that for me. And, it's honestly, it's made in Japan. It's a great guitar. Nobody has any problem with Japanese made guitars. They're fantastic. But it has opened my eyes to the fact that, well, maybe there's other really great guitars out there that haven't been on my radar because, I just am kind of narrow in my scope of what I like. Really boutique stuff. Like, should I be looking at other things? You guys know I've been on the hunt for, jazz guitars. I've been really getting into that sound. So, should I be looking at Eastman guitars? They have a great reputation, but I'm like, I don't know, made in China. They haven't really been on my radar, but should I be looking at those? And are there other guitars that all of us should be considering? Because, in this day and age, as the price of USA made boutique guitars continue to rise year after year, just get more expensive. And for a lot of us, just climb outside of our budget, could we find an import guitar that's really affordable that maybe with just a few tweaks could become an amazing instrument? Or maybe you don't need any tweaks at all. Maybe right off the rack, it plays and sounds great, and you're like, man, I could gig with this guitar anytime. It's fantastic. I love how it looks, feels, plays, sounds. It's the whole, it's the real deal. So yeah, let's talk about that. Comment below. Let me know, what you think about all this. And I look forward to having some conversation about it. So anyway, that's it for this episode. It's right about Christmas time, so I hope you have an amazing Christmas. And I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, and I almost forgot to remind you that the best guitarist is the one who's having the most fun.